Pete. This is the kind of weather I had in mind when I moved to the Atlanta area.
Yeah,
I wish we could just keep this.
If we could bottle this up and make every day of the year like this, I don't think many people would be mad. It just feels amazing. Gorgeous skies out there, beautiful sunshine. That's going to continue into the late afternoon and early evening. Temperatures will gradually start to warm, though, as we head through the work week. And we're going to be flirting with record highs by the time we head closer to the weekend, getting into the lower 80s. As far as rain is concerned, there's just not a whole lot of moisture around. We are watching a cold front that's going to slide through the area Sunday into Monday, and that's going to give us a very low end chance for a spotty shower. So that will be something we're watching for. Meanwhile, right now, it's 78 degrees from Atlanta through Marietta into Lawrenceville and Athens. And I expect those numbers to nudge up a degree or two over the course of the next couple of hours. But by 6 o'clock, we're back down to the mid 70s. Mostly clear skies, radiational cooling doing its thing through the overnight, and we all slide into the upper 40s and lower 50s. So 47 for the start of the day in Cartersville and Villa Rica, closer to 49 in Marietta. Atlanta, the always perpetual warm spot through the overnight, will dip to 53 degrees. Another gorgeous afternoon on tap for your Tuesday. A lot of sunshine. A few clouds try to move into East Georgia, but I don't think most of us see any of that. And the numbers will rebound. I think that we get out of the 50s as we head through the later parts of the morning. Already at 71 degrees around lunchtime. This is going to be the perfect afternoon to sit outdoors for lunch. If you're taking the kids out to the park, upper 70s to around 3 o'clock. Temperatures trending cooler again as we head into the evening. And I mentioned that we warm as we head through the next few days. Keep in mind, the seasonal average is 73 degrees, and we're going to be above that for the bulk of this 7-day forecast. And we're actually going to be nearly 10 degrees warmer than average as we head closer to the end of the week. Friday is that day that we start to get very close to flirting with record highs. A lot of sunshine through the week. We're watching a cold front that's going to gradually start to sink down. You can see how there's some moisture to the north of us. Not a whole lot of that moisture manifests itself as it slides through North Georgia, but we're going to give it a 20% chance of a stray sprinkle. Don't expect to get soaked by this. The bigger story here will be the temperature drop on the back end. We're going to go from the low 80s through the beginning of the weekend to the mid 70s on Sunday, and then eventually dip into the upper 60s as we head closer to Monday. Now, we're keeping an eye on the tropics. Tropical storm Oscar out there with winds sustained to 40 miles per hour. A lot of folks in Cuba actually been without power before this storm made landfall because of some issues with the grid. So no doubt this is just going to compound that issue. Thankfully, this storm is not going to intensify. It's overland, and it's going to barely hang on to tropical storm status, forecast to move northward as we head closer to the middle of the week.
Thank you so much.